I will give you a short overview on the Erasmus for All program starting in 2014. It will combine several programs that are separate, the lifelong learning program, youth and sports, and also smaller international programs for universities like Tempus, Erasmus Mundus. They will also go into the Erasmus for All program. The action strands will be the same as we have now. Grosso modo, mobility, European cooperation projects, let's say up to a certain budget, so to say, level, and then big, with more budget, European cooperation projects, sector skills alliances is one name for one type of those big projects, and the other type is knowledge alliances for mainly the university level. So, so mobility, European cooperation projects, and then last but not least, policy support, mainly not in the form of grants, but in the form of call for tenders, or kind of procurement. And then, as I said in the beginning, youth, you heard about it, and the actions will be more or less continued. And sports. About this I cannot say a lot, but you can say the actions will be continued, even simplified. For my part, I know that we have mainstreamed, I think, 5 grant types into one, so that it's less complicated to find the right grant type for the project one has in mind. The increase, which this is the Commission proposal, and now it's with the Council and Parliament, but the Commission proposal foresees a 70% increase of the budget if you take all these actions together. Yeah? 70% increase of what we have in the ongoing programs, and then 65% of the budget, of this budget, increased budget, will be for mobility. So, a very strong commitment to mobility. Yeah? If you have questions, more concrete, I just wanted to give you the overview.
Since I'm here, I'll ask. What about, you mentioned before the actual process of application, is there any effort going on to make it more user-friendly? If anyone's ever had to fill out a lifelong learning project application knows what it is. You feel like you're paying for something you've done wrong in the past.
Well, I'll just give you a quick example. We are now trying to develop application forms that there will be one application form for all mobility actions that we will support under the new program. So in fact, this will be a major piece of simplification, because if a young person wants to carry out an Erasmus or Leonardo or a youth exchange or an EDF, European Voluntary Service, the entry point will always be the single form. Of course, not by the individual, but by the organization, university, vet provider, or organization in youth that will apply on behalf of this person.
Good morning, Victor Aguilar from Wonder Group, leading professional education provider in Spain. Mr. De Michelis was pointing out in his keynote speech that the debate in Europe is very much centered now in austerity and BS growth. And I'm afraid that this is preventing us from seeing a wider picture of the issue. And so far we all appear to agree upon the fact that one of the main structural problems for unemployment, as Mr. Horn pointed out before, is a serious mismatch between what the educational system provides and the demand from the industry. So, but I don't think that is necessarily related to the amount of money, but rather with the way we use it. As now we are putting a lot of families, governments and individuals putting a lot of efforts in forming themselves to end up, once they get the diplomas, to end up seeing they don't have any lateral opportunities, and as rough as it may sound, is that the industry is not demanding their skill at the moment. So. And I wanted to know the point of view of the Commission, and maybe also from our latest speakers, on how to build, how to promote this dialogue between educational system and industry, maybe with a network that will be able to outsource and gather information from the industry labour demands and their forecasts, and also be able to adapt and flexibilize the educational system at every level to be able to smooth this transition. Thank you.
Okay. And of course in Spain you're bringing in this apprenticeship program again, it's very important. Will we have another question to add on to it, or is it compatible? Also, because Germany, the Portuguese, they've got these cooperation agreements with Germany.
Spain and Germany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the microphone doesn't work, but I can try to. Well, one of my questions, I think goes in hand with your question, because we work with many cities, local levels, and there is very little knowledge about. Oh, we can analyze actually our labor markets at local level and region level. But we don't have the capacities, we never did this before. How can we do it? So, and here I just try to remember what Mr. Strauss said about the Commission can support with knowledge as well. So this is very much needed at the local level and also many regional levels about labor market analysis and how to match it with the education provision. My second question is for Mr. Kuravic about the business creation, etc. And what about the business environment? Because, for example, we have many cities also with whom we work, and they just get discouraged when it's about a project about business development because of the legal framework and the fiscal framework. And it makes it sometimes so impossible because you have to wait, I don't know how much to create a company, you have to pay to create a company, you have to pay to close your company, you have to, and it's just becomes impossible. And if, I don't remember if it was the EU recovery strategy or EU 2020, there was a measure where it should be possible in one day to open a company at zero cost. So what's going to happen? Is this going towards any type of developments? Thank you.
Time with you, and just work our way across. I think all of you have something to say.
So there's the Small Business Act for Europe, which is the strategic and political framework for all the business environment. The goal is that in every member state you can open a company within 3 working days for less than 100 euros at one place, at a one-stop shop. And we have brought down the average in Europe from, it was in 2007, it took you about 16 days, now it's around 7, a little bit beyond 7 on average in Europe. In some countries it's within a day, in some it's still quite long. You can found it for, on average, a little bit less than 400 euros, which goes from 0 euros in Slovenia up to 4-digit numbers in 2 or 3 member states. And the one-stop shop is probably there in around half or a little bit less member states. So this depends a lot on the member states and how they're organized, because I don't want to name the country, but within the same country, which consists of different regions, in one region it takes you really, for example, for a permit, 30 days, another region of the same country, it takes you more than 150 days, 180 days to get the same permit. So actually the competition is on also among the regions within the same country or cross-border to create good mechanisms, and many of those don't depend on the legal circumstances, but really depend on a regional or local administration how to do it. And those who are successful do it on their own. They don't even wait for the central government to do something. They do it on their own and create very good environments. The question is also when you come as a potential investor, do they just tell you, here's a brochure, or do they give somebody who takes you by the hand and goes with you around? So all these things, they cost money, but they're investment. They're not money just spent, they're investment. And who is successful does it really well and also invests quite a lot in it. Unfortunately, it has a startup cost, but it comes back. What we are doing is we are monitoring the things which have been decided by the Competitors Council, so we're every year looking at those figures. Also the figure in how many countries you can wind down the company within a year, or where can you get discharged within a year. That's also very important. Other elements we don't look at specifically, but what we do is we have at least one big conference every year and also a number of smaller ones dedicated to certain themes where we really showcase the good examples, give prizes, and say, okay, you want to get something done better in your region or in your community, we'll tell you who to talk to. You have a number of very, very successful administrations where you can learn from.